Good afternoon. My name is Deborah Nichols. I am a speech-language pathologist and have been so for many years, so I have approximately 30 years of experience. Today we're going to talk about intellectual engagement and social interaction, tools for speech and occupational therapist. I would like to introduce to you my co-partner, Lee Elliott, and she's also an instructor. She's an owner and developer of Team Elliott Education, has accomplished a decade-long career creating meaningful, engaging programs for seniors in healthcare facilities. With a passion for those experiencing Alzheimer's disease, special needs, and related cognitive compromises, her program, Moment of Brilliance, facilitated by Team Elliott Education, offers induction to the Lifelong Learners Hall of Fame for curriculum participants. She is willing to share successful tools and techniques during this workshop to support optimal patient participation during speech and occupational therapy sessions. So without further ado, I introduce Lee Elliott.
And I thank you very much. It's my pleasure to be here.
So the first thing we're going to do is talk about the types of attention. There is sustained ability to focus and maintain focus over time. Selective ability to pay attention to the target and screen out completing distractions. Alternating ability to move attention from one task to the next task. Tracking requires all sustained, selective, and alternating abilities. Tracking is the ability to follow a stimulus or train of thought without being distracted or losing track of a task. Divided attention is the ability to attend to more than one task at a time.
So we have some examples today, and we are focusing on the population that actually may not have a diagnosis of dementia, but certainly the symptoms are there. So we need to err on the side of caution so that everyone is successful. The first thing I'd like to bring your attention to is a game that we created. And it's based on artwork that every participant in the Moments of Brilliance program collaborated. So if I had 5 people in a session, all 5 would contribute to the artwork. Those sessions are called creative design. As a result, we then came up with a concentration game. I like to call it concentration versus matching simply because it's more age appropriate. So if I click on, you'll see there we have a dove and the peace sign, and we click on again. So the attention here would be to track what picture flashes and where that picture is located, correct?
Correct. So with selective attention tracking, if they lose track or become easily distracted or unable to concentrate, they would be unable to participate in that task.
And as a measure of success, one way to handle that would be, first, this game is available online, so if we have computer use, if not, we have a tablet use, and it's all touch. So that makes it a little easier than manipulating a mouse or a trackpad. So we play it together in that you say, okay, let's go right up to the top and give some structure to how to discover where these different images are. And so then you would say, in this case, oh my goodness, where did we see that? And hope that in that pause, your patient would perhaps remember to go back one, and therein lies the match or the concentration of, and that signals to you that they have that memory capacity right there. Yeah. And then you just continue through the game until you can successfully find a few more. Nothing has to be finished. It can be, you know what, I'll take that. We got 2 and we have 1 match, and we'll just take it. Especially if you're observing hesitancy and that the actual tension isn't there, then you can kick back to something that will help everyone be successful.
And what's so nice about the way you handled that, you stayed on the same row,
Yes.
the very top row. You didn't go all over the place. So if you have someone that is at a lower level, you want to engage them where they are.
Exactly, exactly. And so you work it together, and you can work it together in many modes. So if Deb is with me and having a difficult time holding the attention, then simply what I would do is, let's do this together because I can't remember, you can, and I'll help you here. So we're a team. So we're pushing here, and then we're going to drop down and go to the next row and start there so that there's some sort of structure to what we're looking at.
So that would be kind of like tactile cueing.
So yes, a student just said that that would be tactile cueing, and she's right. You are giving that patient hand over hand assist to complete this task.
Yes. You're going to do it down there, yeah. Exactly. I think I saw that one. So you get the idea.
Right,
okay?
Correct.
And just before you have finished the entire panel of finding the exact image, before you push the last one, just take a minute to admire and to reinforce the participants so that they know what a great job they've done. Built into this game is when you hit the last one that matches up, it will immediately say, congratulations, play again. So you won't have that minute to admire your shot.
Beautiful. I really like the artwork and the fact that other patients develop these paintings make it more important.
Yeah, it's very important to make sure that all participants are invested so that either that you hear their voice, you feel their presence, you know that they're figure out a way to manipulate the content and the props so that everyone can be a part of it.
Great. Let's go to another task that might be beneficial for improving attention.
We have here what I like to refer to as a language lab. It's been well researched that by participating in a foreign language, in whatever capacity, meaning either absolute fluency, comprehension, or simply experiencing a separate language, can stimulate the neurons. So by doing that, I've created what I call language labs. So language labs, can you see this? A language lab simply takes a topic, in this case it's red, and asks the question, how do you say, or what does it look like in other languages? So in this case, we took English, Spanish, German, and Portuguese. Does this mean that we're going to learn this, remember it, utilize it? No, we're just going to spend time experiencing it. Part of this language lab includes things to look at. So if I were starting the session with Deb, I would say, take a look at this.
Wow, that's very nice.
And take a look at this one.
I like apples.
Right. And what are cherries?
Oh, I like cherries too.
And I wonder what all these are doing in the same packet. What's the common thing here?
Well, they're all red.
They're all red. I get it. Oh, and these are cute as well. Yes, and this is for my participant so that she can feel part of it. Oh, cute.
Very nice.
And not to miss out.
Oh, can I keep these?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And of course, this is the time of the year that we will all be experiencing many holidays, including that of Santa, which, oh, by the way, was a marketing tool used a long time ago. And it has everything to do with Father Christmas.
And what I really like about this is you have taken time to engage the patient.
Yes.
And we're not worried about those different languages there at this moment.
Oh, absolutely not.
We are just being involved with the person you're working with.
So you could take a magazine. You don't have to have anything pretty or anything polished or that would take hours to prepare. You can just take a magazine and go through it and ask someone to, let's go through here and find the biggest words we can, or let's go through that. So you'd be able to check their fine motor skills, you'd be able to check their attention to what the task is, and you'd also be able to rip out the page and put them in a pile to show those similarities.
So when they lose track, how do you redirect them back to it?
Redirection is, what they're telling me is that they don't get it. So if Deb was unable to identify that this was red, I would simply move on. We have a lot of people with vision impairment, so I understand that. So it would be fun to wear the glasses, and by the way, they're red for the season and a nice little necklace. But I want you to take a look at this.
Let me just say one other thing that's important with what she was doing. The tactile feedback.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
If they can't see well and they have a visual impairment, to help maintain their attention or sustain their attention, you use touch a lot, and you also use these items that they could touch.
And there's also another component to that, and it refers to multiple intelligences, which simply says we all learn in a different way, and we all have the reception for the different way. So in our sessions, we may have multiple people that represent different intelligences. Not the level of intelligence, but how they perceive and how they're oriented to life. So there are people that indulge and engage in music throughout their entire life, or just appreciate it. Or there's people who are writers, or there's people who are, in this world, more digital and coding and all of that. So the idea is to figure out what you can package together that could engage those different intelligences, those different ways that people see the world and orient themselves. So the catchphrase here is something for everyone.
Intellectual engagement, and it's very
social.
socializing.
Absolutely, and it doesn't matter how you get there. You can be social, and here we are, and let's talk about this. And what's your favorite cake or goodie during the holidays? Or you can start with, you know what? I have all of these letter tiles. I'm just going to move this for a second. I have all of these letter tiles right here. Can you see those? And I was just wondering if you could help me sort them, because they're all in this one big thing and they're all mixed up. So, right?
That's a U.
Now, you know what the challenge is here, that some of them are uppercase, some of them are lowercase, but this one is clever because we could call this a W or we could call it an M, and we can do that because we're grown-ups.
Ha!
Okay, so could you find me all of the O's? And now could you find me an R?
Right here.
Mm-hmm. And now how about a J? And we need another O. Is there a way that we could possibly, I'm seeing the word red and then I'm seeing it in Spanish. Is there a way that we could arrange these letters to look like those letters in Spanish?
R-O-J-O.
Right. So if we took this letter R, could you put this here in the first spot? Just put it right here by my finger. Right? And what's
R.
the next one?
O.
Mm-hmm. And then the next one is J.
J.
And then, awesome. Anybody want to give that a shot of how we could say it? Rojo? A roho?
Roho.
Roho?
Roho.
Sounds like roho-ho.
Yes.
Just like our holiday. There
Yes.
you go.
Very good. I like that.
Thank you.
That's a good activity. It's very engaging. And the sustained attention that could be achieved with a task like this.
In addition, we could take a look at this and we could do all the letters if you have someone very much engaged. And if not, you just do a row, you do one word. You start out at a level where everyone can feel successful, and then you move forward. If we have very high level people, we have repeated the words in here, but you leave them spelled out on the table so that they could certainly identify them. If this is beyond anyone, they could just line up their letters. They could spell out their name. I've even done with people with dementia. They have, I'll say, find a one-letter word, and we find an A. And I'll say, okay, let's find a two-letter word. And we find, let me see.
E.
E, absolutely. Here it is. And then we build it. I've had people with dementia go as high as 15 words,
Wow.
15-letter words, all the way up building the pyramid. I've also had people with dementia spell all the way up to 15 or 18, and the words were all related.